What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first round of competition for the Drift Nirvana Assetto Corsa competition. My name is Chris DeBoard, and I'm going to be your announcer, along with Craig from VDC. Craig, say hi to everybody.
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here.
We are super excited to be making this happen for you guys. We're going to be doing a top 16 competition for you. This will be a 4-round Grand Prix style series, and this series is brought to you by Drift Nirvana and Committed Service Brand. Drift Nirvana, home of Summit Points only drifting competition and practice leagues. They have multiple tracks for you guys to be able to enjoy, and we'll be talking more about that. And Committed Service Brand, one of your one-stop shops for fabrication and drifting, and sponsor of multiple FD teams and FD Pro-Am teams. Craig, tell these guys what they could be expecting for today's competition.
Really close battles here on this Jefferson layout of Summit Point. Unfortunately, I've never been able to make it out to the track, but sort of local for me. I'm down in North Carolina, so not too far away. I need to make it up there, though.
I will say, Craig, you're missing out on probably one of the greatest additions to Summit Point's track that they've had. Now, Summit Point actually is consisting of a motorsports park, so they have a lot of different offerings. They have a Washington circuit, they have the Jefferson circuit, which will be on today, they have the Shenandoah circuit, and then, of course, the famous Summit Main. From all of you guys remembering the Hyperfest days, that's what they were racing on. But again, we're going to be racing on the Jefferson extension today, and again, like Craig said, we have some really tight battles. Craig, if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of walk them through what the course is going to be. Is that cool?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Awesome. So, guys, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a multi-turn course. This is the exact layout that we were running at Jefferson Extension at the most recent Drifters of December event at Summit Point Motorsports Park. So the competitors are going to be going into a first outer zone that's going to be a right-hander, and then they're going to hit a left-hander inner clip, and then they're going to hit a famous touch and go that we all would love to see them bounce in and out of without going 2 wheels or 4 wheels off. This isn't Jeep life. Keep it on the track, guys. We have another inner clip at the left-hander, and then we're going to be doing back-to-back outer zones. You got a right and then a left, and then finally a left-hander inner clip into the final left-hand sweeper into the shutoff zone. We want to see you guys shredding right pedal down and keep that thing to the floor. So, I mean, Craig, without further ado, can we start rock and rolling with this Washington Circuit top 16?
Absolutely. It looks like they're ready at the line waiting. Jay Young will lead Zach Catlin.
Absolutely. Guys, you guys really picked out some great cars. We've got some Nissan versus Ford going right now. Jay Young leading Zach Catlin. Yoshi, whenever you're ready, brother, let's count them down, get them going. We are out the gate. That's a clue start. Everybody is looking really good right now. Huge angle into the outer zone 1. Oh my God. Jay, Jesus guacamole, what are you doing, sir? Coming up to that first inner clip. Back and forth, and then the touch and go. Look. Honestly, I'm lost for words right now. Zach, keep going. I know you're used to a Camaro, sir, but you better have that speed to keep the pressure on into that final inner clip, coming to that big long bend. Guys, if you don't keep it sideways, we don't want to watch. Outstanding. What do you got for me, Craig? Come on. I mean, what did you see?
A really good start to this top 16, and I'm super impressed here. Going to the replay, Jay out front in that Skyline. Does drop a little bit of a tire there in that first turn, but look at the Mustang staying right with him. Here we go into the third corner and this big outside zone, both filling it very well. Nice transition here in the lead, and then we do see a little bit of a straighten there from Jay Young out front in that Skyline. He gets it back together, pulls a little bit of a gap here, and there they go up the hill and across that finish line to finish out the first run.
Well, I know our judges definitely are, doing their own thing. We love to be able to have it. If you don't mind, I'd like to, be able to talk about our judges that we have for this competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got 2 wonderful FD level judges. We have 2014 FD Pro 2 Championship winner Dan Savage, multiple accolades during that Pro 2 season with the Siki team. He is now currently running a wonderful S13 with a VQ and killing it out there at obviously all the wonderful drift events. And then we have Douglas Lanciano. Douglas Lanciano is going to be a FD Pro 2 2021 driver because he did earn his license at Battle of the Bays, one of the wonderful U.S. drift events put on by Formula Drift. So guys, I don't want to let these guys go cold with some little bit of talking. Yoshi, count them down. Let's rock and roll, brother. Zach is moving. He's ready to go. He looks really good in practice, and I'm really curious to see big angle coming in there, keeping all four on the pavement, getting ready to hit that first inner clip. We've got a lot of good mirroring. It's like man in the mirror with Michael Jackson right now. These guys are on each other like white bread on a sandwich. I swear this is going to look better. Zach really putting the pressure on to be able to show he is ready to make sure he could move on to the next round. Jay in that skyline making some obviously fun maneuvers and showing he is really ready to play. And that end really kind of got me going. Craig, take it away, man.
Absolutely. It looks like a little bit cleaner lead from the Mustang out front. Zach here as we go to the replay, really smooth through the first turn. Good line as well. And we see Jay fall off a little bit back there, leaving that first turn. Is able to bring him back in a little bit, but that Mustang is just rocking and rolling through this track and pulling gaps on that skyline. And as you called it there, Jay going off the track, coming up to that last turn, and there they go, finishing it out.
You know, it's like strikes. You know, one tire will kind of let it happen. We'll, you know, kind of look aside. Two tires, all right, buddy, bring it back in. Three tires, that's Jeep life. This is drifting, not off-roading. Get your butt back on course and get back in the game. I'm really curious to see how these judges score it, because I will say that Zach was looking amazing in practice, throwing some really tight lines and a lot of great angle. And then really with those last two outer zones, he was pulling a lot of speed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see Jay as much, but it seems Jay was aggressive and definitely wanted to show he really, really wants to win this.
Yeah, he definitely went after it a couple of times in that chase position, but it was a struggle keeping up with that Mustang.
Now, do you think, I mean, if you were a judge, I mean, where are you leaning on this one? Because I know I have my opinion, but I mean, I want to hear yours first.
I think Zach.
Yeah, I definitely think Zach gave it a little bit better, and that chase run kind of solidified his position as being again a little bit more cleaner and consistent, because that's really the name of the game right now, is cleanliness and consistency.
There we go. Minor correction there on the bracket, but Zach is going to move through and take the win over Jay Young and move into the top 8.
Congratulations to Zach. I think just like we were talking about from the judges' perspective, that almost full send in after that last inner clip was really the kind of nail in the coffin for Jay. Hopefully he can understand the mistakes he made, and looking forward to round 2 and seeing him being a top competitor.
Absolutely. He did great on the lead position as well.
Okay, guys, we're running with some technical difficulties on the second bracket, so we're going to be moving to the third bracket. We have Rich Whiteman coming up front, and then we have David Belomo in the chase. Yoshi, whenever you're ready, let's get these boys on track. Aggressive start from both drivers. We both know that these guys really want to get it, and some good. All right, Rich, you really threw the angle there. David has come up behind him to show he's going to put the pressure on. Some good mirroring into inner clip number 1. Rich with that shallow angle, but still a lot of speed. David closing the gap, going to the touch and go. And then Rich really want to put their speed on to be able to create that separation, but David is right on his bumper, going to the outer zone number 3, and then into that final inner clip. Oh my goodness, almost a 90-degree transition into that final zone. David Blum with the, Craig, words are hard. Please help me on that.
Definitely our first S chassis battle. We see him go into that first turn on the replay, both really smooth, but you see in the chase on a little bit tighter line there, he is able to correct it and get back up onto the door of Rich out front in that yellow S15. Really smooth through that really tight inside clip, filling these two outside zones as well. I mean, both just looking very smooth through this course. Now Rich does go a little wide here, but holds it together, stays on track and across that finish line.
I mean, if there was a showmanship award already, I'd say we'd start putting his name in the hat to be considered, because with that almost 90-degree initiation into that final clip, that was a beautiful thing and a beautiful car. Let's rock and roll. We now are swapping out to do some lead chase follow-up. We have David Belomo in the lead, and we have Rich Whiteman in the follow. Yoshi, send them, get them, rock and rolling. We have a clean start, and we are ready to go. David Belomo getting ready to initiate the outer zone number 1, and Rich Whiteman is hot as hell. David Belomo dropping a tire to show he is ready to get that big angle and that speed. Inner clip number 1, and both of them are like Ford owners at a Cars and Coffee, putting them at the way. Oh my goodness, David Belomo is separating very, very distantly from Rich Whiteman. Rich Whiteman really needs to clean that gap. David Belomo all off. These guys are giving it all in the first round, and I swear I didn't think I'd be seeing this much enthusiasm in just the second bracket. Craig, take it away.
Yeah, we sure did. Going to the second half on the replay here, both enter in very nicely. You see right there just a tiny drop, but both drivers make the very similar mistakes here. Now Rich in that chase position does go off course, almost dropping 4 tires really. So we'll have to wait and see what the judges say about that. Both lacking a little angle there through that section of the course, but getting it back together. A little tire drop there in the lead, but here they come through this last and final turn. Both looking super smooth.
I think it definitely shows how technical this course is. While if you look at a bird's eye view from either Google Maps or any other map device, you can see the course layout. But, you know, being able to do a bird's eye view, being on the course, or just being a driver on Assetto Corsa for this Drift Nirvana round 1, you're definitely in the zone and having to be able to navigate it much, much differently. So kudos to the driver, and I think we're ready to announce a winner.
We may be, and look at there, David goes through, taking the win over Rich.
Congratulations, David Belomo, to be able to take the win over Rich Whiteman. All right, now, are we able to go back to the round 2? So we're going to take a quick break to see where we're at. Now, what's going to be our next round, guys? Wait 1 second. All right. Unmuted?
Yep.
All right, rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to going with all the technical difficulties taken care of. We have Nick Glaudmans leading Adrian Wanchik here. We have an FD versus Sora battle, it looks like, from my view. I'm really excited to see this. Yoshi, count them down and let them rock and roll out the gate. All right, Nick is powering forward, be able to make this outer zone go. With the FD already is in his backside. We have some really tight form. A good mirror right here and a lot of serious angle. A huge drop off from the RX-7. Listen, bro, take the mud tires off. This is drifting, not off-roading. And look, oh my goodness, we have a pass and a full off-road. Gravedigger returns in the form of a JZX Chaser and completely leaves the course. Craig, please make some sense of what we just saw.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go back to the replay here. Going into the first turn, everything looked all right. Lacking a little bit of angle in the lead position there, but the FD goes right there on the bumper. Nice smooth transition through here. FD cutting the course there, still straight, and the Chaser gets off course and offline, and a little bump there as he tries to transition, goes off course, and then goes for a ride.
I mean, it really, I mean, usually in something like this, it would be the chase maybe was you know, a little bit too aggressive to be able to give him the thing. But I mean, on Assetto, it's like you're in your own world, baby. You know, make it worth your while. So hopefully, we're not saying he doesn't have to climb Mount Everest to get the win, but Nick really has a lot to be able to make this work. So you know what, Yoshi? Let's count them down and see if we can see an upset or an overkill win. All right, we've got some rotary goodness out in front, going to outer zone number 1. Some really good angles, some good lockup, dropping a tire, but still giving a good performance. That chaser is right on his backside. Cut the corner a little bit, some e-brake to be able to initiate, go to that touch and go. Shallow angle on both, but still a lot of speed. Inner clip number 1. And back-to-back outer zone. That FD better watch himself because he is playing with risky business. Final inner clip. That chaser is up his bum. And another huge angle from the FD. And they both are 4 tires sideways across the line. Craig, what are you thinking right now?
Yeah, another really interesting one to break down here as we go into that first turn. Adrian now leading Nick in that RX-7. And looking smooth this time. He's able to stay in drift. Little inside there. But Nick doing a good job in the chase position. Starts to fall off here, but as we can see, Adrian's not quite on the right line, filling that outside zone, and creates a huge gap. And now we see Nick reeling him back in. But unfortunately, this is going to be a really tough one for the judges to go over here.
The only thing I noticed was Nick straightened at least twice in the chase.
Exactly. Well, the same thing on the other end is as well. The RX-7 not quite getting into drift in his chase position.
Exactly. But so I mean, realistically, it may just come down to that super gravedigger backflip off road that the chaser decided to do. You know.
And look at that. Judges go with Adrian, and Adrian's going to move on to face Zach in the grade 8.
Outstanding. Well, Adrian, congratulations. Nick, we look forward to seeing you at round 2 to be able to give us some of your wonderfulness. And just a reminder, sir, this is drifting, not Jeep life. Keep those tires on the track because we want to see you sideways and smoking. Coming up in the 4th position, or I'm sorry, in the 4th bracket, we have Aziz Durashad and Kurt Klein. We're going to be having Aziz lead in the IS200, and then Kurt's going to be following him in the Mustang. These guys, I was messing with Aziz on chat earlier, and he is super excited to be able to make this work. Kurt, I see the same enthusiasm for you. So without further ado, Yoshi, get these boys down the track and let's see some smoke. Just like that, out the gate with no issues. We got a clean start into outer zone number 1. Aziz with angle to spare. That man is here to party and stay. Coming to inner clip number 1 with some good transitioning. Keeping all 4 tires moving with that touch and go. Already moving a little bit early to inner clip number 1, but going to touch and go 2, I'm sorry, to outer clip 2 and 3. Still huge angle, huge speed. Final outer clip. He is light years ahead of that Mustang. Kurt, I don't know what's going on, but Craig, I'll be honest, I'm shocked.
Yeah, Aziz got off to a really good start. Maybe Kurt, honestly, I think looking back on the replay there, I think Kurt maybe missed a gear on his run up, which led to that big gap that Aziz was able to bring out. And Aziz was just able to hold it throughout the whole entire run, stayed super smooth throughout his lead run, filling the zones and grabbing those inside clips as well. And
I will say he was definitely being very particular about those inside clips. I know, especially in the practice, those outer zones were giving people issues trying to hit them, get the speed, get the angle, and then hit that final clip. So let's see if Kurt can throw it down in the lead. He doesn't have a mountain to climb, but brother, you got to make this work. The Mustang out the gate, the Lexus right behind him. Going to outer zone number 1, Mustang with some big angle, and Aziz right behind him. Kurt's putting on the speed, but Aziz is in the chase for real. Mustang going a little bit off, but Aziz is not giving up to be able to make this shirt. The touch and go. Mustang straight. Oh my goodness, the Mustang straightens, but definitely goes back in it. Aziz is still in the active chase to make this competitive. Mustang throwing a ton of angle into the final inner clip. And then Aziz, oh my God, Aziz, what are you doing? Craig, again, I'm kind of lost right now because now I'm split. What do you think?
Absolutely. As we go into the replay here, we see the Mustang starts off on the wrong line on the first and second turn, and then just gets out of drift coming into that second outside zone. And Aziz does a really good job in the chase position to stay in drift, stay behind that lead driver, and continue out. Now, he almost throws it away here coming into this last turn here. Does drop maybe 2 tires, almost 3, but he does hold it on to the course.
I definitely think that the judges have their work cut out for them for this, because you almost had a sure thing, and then you had an almost sure thing come right back to it for the other guys. So this should be definitely an interesting, either an upset, if you want to call it, but I would like to say that was a fantastic battle.
As you were calling it, Aziz gets the win and moves on into the Great 8.
Congratulations to Aziz, and then Kurt, you really put up a heck of a fight, brother, and we really look forward to seeing you around 2. A little bit of correction, a little bit more practice, and I guarantee we'd be able to see you in that Final 4, if not the finals. So coming up, we have Dakota Elston and Justin S. We want to be able to welcome both these drivers to the grid. Again, I've seen Dakota on track personally, and that man, he will huck it like nobody's business in that VQ350Z. So let's see if we can see the same kind of tenacity on our stream. Yoshi, get these boys on track and let's see some smoke. All right, so we have Dakota in the lead coming to that first outer zone, throwing that angle. Then Justin is giving him a little bit of good chase, hanging that angle out to dry, and I like it. It's a clean towel on the clothesline. Coming to the touch and go, Justin is still giving a good bit of power, and Dakota's giving a good bit of power. Justin is with the follow. Outer zone number 2 and outer zone number 3. Gentlemen are giving a hefty bit of angle to the dangle with the final inner clip. Oh my goodness, there's a quarter-mile racetrack between them. Where was the problem, Craig? I couldn't even tell where the issue was, but something obviously happened.
It really smooth lead out front. One of the smoothest I think we've seen so far from Dakota out front in that S14. Just putting down a solid line for that E36 to chase, but it just too much for him, I guess. I mean, just the speed that he had throughout the course and the smoothness was just too much for that E36 to handle. Goes off course there. Justin in that chase position. And again, just the cleanest lead I think we've seen so far.
Without a doubt. Again, guys, consistency and focus is going to be your name of the game, and just keep the tires on the pavement. Don't worry about the huge angle of the dangle or the right foot pedal into the floor. Just make us have a wonderful run, and you guys will be on the podium. So now we're going to flip-flop to rip-rop. We're going to have Justin on the lead and Dakota in the chase. Yoshi, get these boys on track. All right, we've got Justin powering out of the gate, and Dakota is firm, ready to make sure he's going to be... Justin with some angle like you've never seen in that E36, and then trying to come back to show he's ready to party. Hitting that inner clip and then going to the touch and go, still being able to power through and going to that inner clip as well, into the outer zone 2 and 3 with a lot of straightening, but Dakota is not phased. He may be a little bit behind, but that drift is still active. We've got Justin straightening again, but Dakota is... Whoa! Oh my goodness. If this was an active event, I swear to God, we'd be still picking up the pieces. Greg, give me a replay, man.
Absolutely. We'll bring it up here. Now, this time, Justin gets off to a really good start in that E36 and creates a little bit of gap in between him and Dakota. But here comes Dakota in that chase position, doing a really good job, catching back up with him. Honestly, yeah, it's after... Justin shuts it down in that lead position that Dakota is able to catch back up to him. And then here is all the drama, the collision here between these two drivers. Now, looking at it again there on the replay, it does look like it may have been Justin's fault as he sort of shut it down there, and Dakota was just trying to make it fun and catch back up to him.
Yeah, I mean, if we were looking at more of a proper active, we're all drifting in real cars thing, that wasn't a decel zone. Justin really had no prerogative to shut it down there. So I mean, hey, at least we're not spending 3 days on the frame machine on 2 cars trying to be ready for round 2, right?
Absolutely, and there it is. Dakota is going to get the win. He'll move on to face the winner of our next battle.
Congratulations, Dakota and Justin. Again, we really look forward to seeing you on round 2, and make sure to be able to, just dial it back on the sauce, buddy. You don't need to be a spicy jalapeno every day. But coming up for our next battle, we have Devin Severs going up against Giovanni Rodriguez. We have another RX-7 and a 350Z coming at us, and Devin is ready to rock and roll. We've got some guys lighting the tires up, being able to make sure. Yeah, come on, guys. You can read. You know where you're bracketing. All right. Getting ready to rock and roll. We have Devin leading and then Giovanni following. Yoshi, get these boys on track because I want to see some Dorito. Out the gate, the RX-7 is ready to party. We have Giovanni following very close, and then coming up to it, we have now. I apologize, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties on my end because I'm doing. Craig, can you please comment? I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Devin is out front in that RX-7, tearing it up and looking smooth out front here as well. We've got ourselves a battle for sure.
Yeah, very technical. I mean, in that last outer.
Ooh, as soon as we said that, what in the world?
What in the guacamole with a side of chips and salsa just happened? Please, you know what? You saw the whole thing. Please give me a play-by-play.
Absolutely. Pulling up the replay here. It starts out super smooth by both of these drivers, filling that first outside zone, staying on the right line here, dropping down, catching that inside clip. That chase driver utilizing that left foot brake doesn't quite fill that outside zone there, but cleans it up, fills this next one out. Again, both drivers super smooth, putting on a nice battle here, and coming into this last turn, it looks like, yeah, Devin out front in the RX-7 just shuts it down.
Interesting. I mean, because from when I cut back into about halfway through on that second outer zone, it seemed Devin was really getting into a very fluid line with a lot of great speed and good angle. So to see him be doing that, now it looks like we may be having some technical difficulties. We lost a driver on the stream from this battle, so we are going to take a quick mute, guys, and be able to see if we can make this work. And we may be doing an admin battle on this one. So let's take a quick break, and then judges, let's go to private chat. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have had a server issue here on our Assetto Corsa Drift Nirvana Round 1 competition. So we're going to be right back after this quick break to reset and some more wonderful battles to finish out this top 16. And just like that, we are back. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Unfortunately, with the first thing we're doing for this first round one for the Nirvana Assetto Corsa Championship, there's always bugs to be able to make. We need to work out. So thank you guys again for your patience. Due to our technical difficulty, we're going to be rerunning this match with a lead and follow from both drivers in the original bracket. So that means Devon Sievers will be leading Giovanni Rodriguez. FD versus 350Z. Well, let's get these boys to the line, and then once they are locked, stocked, and ready to rock, Yoshi, count them in, and let's rock and roll, boo-boo. A little bit of Dorifto action coming up to you guys right now, going into the first outer zone. That FD is hanging it out to dry with the 350 in chase. Devin is really putting the mustard on the hot dog right now to be able to make it an exciting run. Giovanni is not letting this go easy. Close proximity, hot speed, hot angle, back-to-back outer zones. That FD is still laying down a good run with great mirroring by the 350Z. Into that final inner clip, the FD is looking a little bit shallow, but that 350 is still hot in its tail. Whoa! And into the cones at the end, almost sideways. Craig, where are your thoughts on this, brother man?
I'm glad we were able to restart this and get a good clean run throughout the whole entire course, and we certainly got just that. Another really nice lead out front in that FD RX-7 and a good chase. Now Chase does get caught up a couple of times here during the run, little gap there created, and then he jumps back onto the door a little bit here, has to back off again, and it takes him a minute to get back into angle before crossing that finish line.
I would like to think with that excessive angle towards the end, it's almost like maybe he thought the FD was going to shallow up, so he wanted to kind of loud pedal it a little more to be able to get on that door that he's been doing. But I'm very excited to see if this FD can put the pressure that the 350 did in the lead run. So without further ado, Devin, Giovanni, let's rock and roll. Giovanni out the gate with a clean start. The FD is in hot chase right now. Giovanni throwing down some good angle, exactly in that outer zone where it needs to be with still some good speed. The FD is not letting up, though, into that inner clip. And then they're both going to that touch and go. Not as much speed as we expect, but still. Now they're really picking it up. I spoke too soon. A little shallow on both drivers, but still good proximity. Final outer zone into the final inner clip. The 350 shows he is here to party with that much angle and speed, but the RX-7 is on his butt like a high school crush. Craig, where we at, man?
Yeah, he certainly was. Now, he misses out on the first outside zone just a little bit, gets into it late, ends up getting both those wheels in there, grabs that inner clip, transitions back out to the outside, does drop tiny little bit of a tire there, upsets the car just a little bit before transitioning, but the Chase doing a really good job in that FD RX-7 once again, and here they come into that final outside zone, not quite filling it in that lead position, but then hucks it right on into this last and final turn before crossing that finish line.
I definitely think that was a really solid chase by Devin to be able to put the pressure on Giovanni, because Giovanni did not let him go easy in that original lead follow that he did. So it's interesting to see how this is going to work out. I wouldn't want to be a judge because I really saw no major errors.
Yeah, nothing major at all, just tiny little things here and there. But look at there, Devin gets the win and moves ahead into the Great 8 to face off against Dakota.
Congratulations, Devin. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Great 8. Giovanni, solid run, brother. You obviously know it was a tough chance, but we are looking forward to seeing you in round 2. Coming up next, we have Tyler Hess leading Jason Cologne, going in, it looks like an all-Nissan battle right now. I'm really excited. So, I don't even need to say it, Yoshi. Let's get these bad boys out the door and down the road. Rock and roll, Tyler Hess in the blue Nissan coming into outer zone number 1. Huge angle trying to fill that zone, and Jason has his work cut out for him. Coming to that first inner clip, both of them cutting it super nice, but also being good proximity. Touch and go, both of them mirroring each other very well. Jason trying to put the pressure on Tyler coming into the back-to-back outer zones. Jason filling the outer zones nicely, and Tyler kind of coming up short into the final outer clip. Tyler, huge angle and speed, and Jason showing he can do the same. A famous back-to-back. I really like what I saw, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. Another really good start here in the first part of these battles. Our first S15 battle as well, red versus blue. But you see Tyler off with a really good start in that lead position. Jason having to do what he needs to do to catch back up, and doesn't really do so until here in this inside clip. But we see Tyler doesn't quite fill that outside zone, grabs the next one, which opens the door for Jason to jump back in and go across this finish line door to door with Tyler out front.
Hopefully, he did, in my opinion, fill that outside zone the best, Tyler, so far as a lead driver initially. But I don't know if it's enough to make up for that mishap in that second outside zone. So we're neck and neck, in my opinion. I don't speak for the judges, but I am stoked to see if Jason can kind of put a gap or two to be able to see if Tyler can catch up. So let's get out the door, and just like that, Nissan versus Nissan, red versus blue. Just like you, into the Tyler with a huge initiation before Jason, coming out of that first outside zone and enters zone number 1 in the inside clip. Door to door, mirror to mirror. They are ready to go to that touch and go. Back to Tyler is putting the pressure on Jason just like we wanted to see, filling that outer zone 2 and 3 almost exactly. Tyler being a little shallow with Jason with angle to spare and a fat entry in that final outer inner clip number 2. I'm sorry, number 3. I am just too excited because Jason put on something I didn't expect to see. That was aggressive. Craig, where we at?
Yeah, again, one of the best lead runs we've seen all day so far. Jason out front in that red S15 and looking smooth. Fills all the zones, grabs all the inside clips, and Tyler does as well, but coming up here, right here on this transition, he doesn't quite make it out to that outside zone. Sacrifices a little bit of an angle to keep up with him there as well, dropping onto the inside of the course, and across that finish line they both go.
Yeah, I was split at the beginning. I'm still kind of split, but I will say Jason, I mean, he put it on for the fans, the virtual fans, the trees, the happy accidents, as Bob Ross would call them. So I like to think that if we were able to see this live, I may want to see it one more time. But no, Craig, what we got a decision.
Yeah, you called it. Jason gets the win and moves on to face the winner of the next battle.
Congratulations to Jason. Again, I really think you put on a fantastic show, sir. And Tyler, you are not to be without mention. That was an incredible lead and chase, and we are very much looking forward to seeing you in the second round of battle after today's matchup. But let's get to the end of our Washington Circuit sponsored top 16 bracket. We have Steve Wierschreim and Tyler Clokey. Steve is going to be leading in the, it looks like a chaser, and then Tyler is coming with that pretty and pink purpley boy Mustang. So I'm excited because I love wonderful colors and happy accidents. So let's get these boys down the road and see what they can do. Chaser in the lead, Mustang in the back. Out the gate with no mistakes. I love it. Into that first outside zone. We've got both. Holy guacamole and a side of chips with the angle from Steve, but the chase from Tyler. These boys are here to party and ready to go. Into the outer zone, and then the touch and go with a little touch of the cone, but that Mustang is not getting up. Steve missed that inside clip, but wants to make sure he hits that outside zone. Tyler's slowing down a little bit, but hopefully, and oh my God, angle to spare. Somebody get the overflow because we can't let that go to waste. There was, I need an Advil because I saw a lot, Craig. Please.
Absolutely.
Let's
The entry here from Steve out front in that Soarer was fantastic, filling that zone, dropping down, grabbing that inside clip, and looking smooth here. Now he does get just a little offline, drops the tire there, which I think is what creates the upset with the car and throwing him a little offline for that next inside clip and these two outside zones. Doesn't quite grab onto him and creates quite a bit of a gap between him and that chase driver. But there you see that Mustang jump onto the door, even give him a little tap there as they cross the line.
I will think that was an aggressive lead chase by both. Steve was putting on the pressure. Tyler was keeping up with it. So I have no opinion right now because I really want to see the chase lead coming in the switch. We're ready to rock and roll. Tyler leading, Steve following. Let's get these boys on the road and see what they can produce. Tyler in that fantastic purple Mustang and Steve in the Soar behind him. Tyler initiating with Steve right on his backside, still hanging out some huge angle, going into that first inner clip. Both of them mirroring back to back with some great initiation. Touch and go is rock and roll. And we're on that second inner clip, and now we're to the back-to-back outer zone. There is door-to-door action, quarter panel kissing, if you will. This would be West Virginia if they were cousins, but on a huge amount of shallowing by Steve in the chaser. I'm sorry, in the Soar, and then across the line a little bit dismembered. What was the shakeup, Craig?
Absolutely. I mean, we'll go back to the replay here. Smooth lead out front by Tyler in this pink Mustang, but Steve in the chase position, really going after it, staying with the Mustang throughout the whole entire run. Now, the Mustang does have a cleaner lead throughout, but he doesn't quite get that outside zone there, is able to grab a little bit of the next one, creating a little bit of a gap, and you see Steve go off course just a little bit in that chase position, but then gets it right back together to cross that finish line with Steve.
That, it's a fantastic analysis. Now, now if you were a judge, Craig, I'm curious. Would you be focused more on the grabbing the outer zones and inners, or would you be more focused on proximity and mirroring? This is a legitimate question for some of these runs we've seen.
Well, I think the biggest thing going through that section of the course with those two outside zones back to back like that, if you're not filling those out, you're on a super duper tight line and just blazing through that section of the course, making it really difficult for the chase to keep up through there. But both drivers had those same mistakes, so I think this could go either way.
We will say that even on the speed meter from what we were seeing in practice, some of these guys were hucking it in those outer zone 2 and 3s at over 125 kph. Because we're in English meters and not American miles per hour, hashtag bald eagles, you're looking at like some 70 mile an hour plus back-to-back initiations into a serious inner clip. So you really, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw one more time here.
That's because it is a one more time.
And it's a one more time. We're going to see him go again.
Oh, nani. We have a one more time going on our first one, and it's only the top 16. I am so excited because I really want to see these drivers go back to back. But first, we had a challenge happening based on a hit, so we are excited to do a one more time against Nick Glodmans and Adrian Wanshik. So we have, I want to say yes, so we have Adrian in the FD and Nick getting ready to rock and roll in the Chaser. Yoshi, let's get these bad boys back on track because I want to see some smooth. Coming out of the gate, oh, that's a wonderful clean start. We have a full day of drifting ahead of us. Craig, call it. I missed the line. Call it.
Yeah, absolutely. They go into that first turn and big contact from the chase position in that FD RX-7, really pushing Nick off the course. He's getting it back together now, putting that foot down and trying to fill these outside zones. He misses that one, but cleaning it back up, trying to stay on. Oh, and gets hit again from that RX-7 in that chase position. Now, that could be the RX-7's fault. We'll go back to the replay here, and they'll enter in. There's the first contact, and they get it back together. That might be enough to just shut the run down right there and assess fault to the FD-RX-7, but they'll continue on.
I picked up at the touch and go, and I'm 100% on your side with that one because that almost looked like too aggressive to want to try to almost overtake.
Yeah, he really went for it, creating that contact there. Good on him showing the aggression and really throwing it out there, but unfortunately that is, I think, going to be his fault. And going into the second half of the battle, Nick will have the advantage.
Good point, sir. That's a fantastic point. Adrian and Nick, two obviously competitive drivers, willing to put it on the line to be able to do a one more time during this top 16 battle that we have presented by Washington Circuit at Summit Point Motorsports Park. Adrian in the FDRX7 will be leading, but he still, again, has a couple of stairs to climb to impress the judges to make sure he takes the win. Nick in the follow in the Chaser. Yoshi, get these boys down the pavement so we can see some skids. Turn 'em and burn 'em, boys, out the gate like a wildfire. That FD RX-7 is ready to play with some huge angle, filling the zones, dropping a tire, and that chaser a little shallower than I would have expected coming to that first inner clip. The FD is here to party with a direct clip. Soup didn't even touch that touch and go, but touched that inner clip a little bit. Shallow on outside zone 2. Chaser 13 miles behind him, but some solid angle on both the outer zone 3 and outer inner clip 3 from the FDRX7, and then Chaser comes to it. Craig, again, a lot of mistakes from everybody, so what are we thinking here?
Yeah, well, I mean, going into this second half, we knew that Nick had the big advantage with the contact in the prior half. So Adrian really going after it in this RX-7, gets way offline there, doesn't quite get that touch and go and that next inner clip. Straightens up here, really looks to be struggling to put the power down in that car, but does so here coming into that last and final corner. And Nick in that chase position doing a really good job to stay in drift so that he doesn't zero out.
It definitely was a hard pull from both of those drivers to be able to kind of make sure, hey, I'm here to party. But just like that, Craig, I think we have a winner already.
Yeah, it looks like Adrian is going to be given the win in the RX-7.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations again to Adrian Wanchik in the FD RX-7. And Nick, you obviously put up a tough enough battle to call one of the first one more times in the Washington Circuit Top 16. So, sir, come back next round, and I really would want to see you further in the bracket and maybe holding a big fistful of money at the end of the day. Now, we again now have our second one more time against Steve Wiersheim and Tyler Clokey. Both of these gentlemen put on a fantastic first run, and the judges decided, you know what, boo-boo, let's send them again and see what they got. So, Yoshi, let's do just that. All right, we've got the Soar coming out up front with a really hefty amount of angle like he did in the first battle to fill that first outer zone. The Mustang a little shallow, but still following active chase. Good inner clip on the Chaser, and to be able to fill that touch and go. Both of them doing a fantastic job coming to the inner clip number 2 and outer zone number 2 and 3 back to back, and great proximity for both of them. A fantastic amount of mirroring. I want to say hopefully this is a big angle. Yeah, buddy. I see mirroring, I see angle, I see proximity, I see speed. Honestly, if this was a salad, it would be a 3-star Michelin restaurant salad that I would eat and pay probably $1,000 for. Craig, you give me your thoughts.
Definitely. As we go to the replay here, nice initiation out front by Steve in that Soar, looking really nice across the inner clip as well, off of it a little bit, and the chase position, Tyler in that Mustang doing a really good job through the touch and go, but here we see Tyler come out of drift in the chase position, really straight there, gets right back into it coming into that last and final outside zone, and then they both huck it into this last and final turn to finish out the course.
It almost seems like because he may have gone out of drift a little bit, he could have picked up a little bit more grip to give more of an active chase in that final clip possibly. You never know, right?
Definitely.
Well, just like that, we have the flip-flop and the drip-drop. Let's see what we can do with Tyler in the lead and Steve in the follow. And these two young boys are down the main. Just like that, let's get out the gate with no issues whatsoever. We have a pink Mustang getting chased down by a red Soar. Mustang with the angle to spare, but the Chaser does not let up. Into that first inner clip as well, and they are both on each other's doors. That pink Mustang's great separation, but the Chaser is falling off. Where is the Mustang going? All the way to the podium with that kind of driving, but oh my God, and then filling that third hour zone, but hey, keep it on the track, big boy. And then both on each other's doors on that final inner clip and 4 tires sideways through the final cones. Where are we at, Dr. Craig?
Yeah, going back to the replay here. Again, Tyler now out front in the Mustang. Great initiation by both, but you see Steve get way offline there. Has to almost reinitiate for that second turn and then gets way offline again coming into the touch and go. Tyler staying super smooth in that pink Mustang out front, really putting the hammer down, filling the zones. Here he does drop 2 tires, goes off course, opening the door for Steve to jump back on. And he does exactly that, and they both go across that finish line together.
Maybe those two tires were two nails in the coffin, because this was a lot. I'll be honest, for me, this even seemed a lot tighter than their original battle. I truly cannot even guess another person. I don't want to say we may see another one more time here, but again, small mistakes from both. When you have excellent lead, chase, it's a hard game to call.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I would hope to see, you know, some progression here. Maybe we can move into the Shenandoah Circuit Grade 8, and just like that, I think we have a winner, Adrian.
Yeah, we certainly do. It's Tyler is going to move on to face Jason in the Grade 8 later on.
Look at that, Tyler. You both, first of all, in my book, you're both winners. It's the 2020 participation trophies for everybody. You guys did fantastic, but that was probably one of the best battles I've seen so far. So that can just go to show you guys what we're gonna see moving forward. Congratulations, Tyler, moving to the Shenandoah Circuit Grade 8, and then Steve, we will look forward to seeing you in round 2. Moving to the Shenandoah Circuit Grade 8. So the Grade 8 is brought to you by Shenandoah Circuit, which is a 3-track circuit at Summit Point Motorsports Park during Drift Nirvana. Be able to take care of D-loop, pistol grip, skid pad, or the famous bridge reverse carousel course. We have coming up Zach Catlin, and in that FD-RX-7, Adrian Wanchik. We have Zach throwing down that Mustang, Adrian throwing down that RX-7. Let's stop talking, start drifting. Rock and roll, boys. And just like that, coming into inner clip number 1, some solid proximity, but a little bit of shallowing on both ends. Into that touch and go, these guys are on each other's doors and quarters, which is what we want to see. And I say words and I retract both of them. Where is the proximity, boys? Into that outer zone 2 and 3, final inner clip. And a hefty amount of angle from the Mustang, and the RX-7 is just in it like that. Craig, I had a little bit of a difficulty. I apologize. Let's recap it for the viewers.
Absolutely. Going back to the replay once again, Zach out front in that blue Mustang gets a little bit of a gap there before initiation, but there you see Adrian jump onto the door in that FDRX7, doing a nice job in chase, does cut the course just a little bit there on that first inside clip, gets it back together, both fill that touch and go, grabbing the inside clip. Adrian falls back a little bit in that RX7, but does a really good job through that transition to jump right back on the door of Zach. And here they come up the hill in this uphill section, and across the line they go, almost giving each other little bumps.
I did see a lot of great speed there, but there was a little bit of shallowing that I'm a little bit concerned about from both drivers. I want to say, make sure you guys stay in drift as long as possible, because if that lead, chase comes down to it, that could be the deal breaker. Am I wrong, Craig?
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, so guys, we're going to flip-flop to the drip drop. We got Adrian leading Zach in this FD Mustang battle. Get these boys on down the road so we can do some skid racing. FDRX7 out the gate, super clean. One trying to get in that outer zone number 1. Mustang is hucking the angle for the dangle, trying to get in that door skin. They're both going to interclit number 1, and both of them shallowing up, and both of them are starting to go up. Take the mud tires off, boys. We doing skid racing. Interclit number 2 into outer zone number 2 and 3. Mustang is looking for a crowd to kill, being 16 miles behind that RX-7. RX-7 is taking advantage of this to be able to put some wonderful drift, but still shallows. Craig, I don't know if you saw the same battle I did. I really want to hear your opinion because I have thoughts.
Absolutely. Going to the replay here, great initiation by both these drivers, lead and chase. Now here you see Adrian get a little offline, cuts that corner and cuts the next one as well. Mustang follows a little bit through there, but here we see in that chase position, the Mustang gets off course and it just takes him way off there, and Adrian is able to pull a huge gap coming into this last turn and finishing out the course. Now, just as you called it, we see the Adrian straightens out a little bit in that lead position before crossing the finish line. So one for the judges to really pay attention to there. And it'll be interesting to see how strict they are on that.
Between that touch and go and that last minute straighten, it's almost like, dude, you had the whole prize money in your bag, but you cut the hole in the bottom yourself, you know. So hopefully he could have sewed it back up, but we really are at the mercy of the judges right now. I'm not even thinking one more time. I have my own personal idea, but I like what I saw. I mean, again, now we're really talking about some serious thing. This is for real American dollars, by the way, live stream viewers. And just like that, while I say real American dollars, Craig,
Zach goes through, man, and takes the win over Adrian and moves into the top 4.
Papas fritas with a side of gravy. I am shocked. Adrian was really putting on the pressure, but I guess the cleanliness and the consistency came to fruition. So congratulations to Zach Catlin to moving on to the Summit Main Final 4. And Adrian, again, obviously you put on some fantastic battles. We are looking forward to seeing you in round 2. Coming up next, we have David Belomo and Aziz Durashad going with the Nissan and the Isus for the Altiza Supra IS200. Going with the David Belomo. Let's get him down the road, Yoshi. David Belomo out front, Aziz in the hard chase, coming into outer zone number 1. David with some serious angle, but Aziz not letting him take it easy. Both of these gentlemen into the inner clip number 1. Door to door, quarter to quarter. There is some clean drifting going on here. Touch and go, fully successfully touched. Not only that, but the inner clip number 2, outer zone number 2 and 3. This is a beautiful run I'm seeing. Some quality drifting. Great speed, great proximity. Aziz putting on the pressure, and David creating a great line. Craig, your thoughts, young man?
Yeah, one of the cleanest battles I think we've seen so far as they enter in on this replay here. David out front in that brown S14 being chased down by Aziz in that IS300 and doing a very good job as well, following him through the course. Now, super clean lead out front, but he doesn't quite fill this next outside zone here on the replay, but Aziz following him right there through it, holding the exact same line, falls off a little bit there as they come off the hill, but does, again, just a great job.
Honestly, in my opinion, I have no judging skill whatsoever, but if you mirror the lead almost to that point, I would give you points just for that, to be able to miss filling that zone, but to be able to copy the head driver.
Absolutely. I think Aziz is going to have a little bit of an advantage going into the second half.
All right, guys. So that being said, the judges are done deliberating. We're ready to get these 2 cars down the road, flip-flop to the drift drop. Aziz leading David Belomo. Let's get these cars down the strip. Aziz Durashad, David Belomo coming out of the gate, clean start, rocking into outer zone number 1. Aziz with the huge angle in that Toyota, but David still not letting go of that pressure. Both of them doing a clean switch over. Aziz cutting that inner clip pretty hard. Going to the touch and go. Aziz shallows up a little bit, but David in the active chase. Cut that second inner clip into the 2 and 3 outer zones. Good mirroring. David digging in to possibly get that advantage. And then Aziz with the fat angle, and David shallows up a little bit on that final inner clip. Both gentlemen sideways across the finish line. Where are we at, Craig?
Yeah, going to the replay here, it was super good through the first half of this second part of the battle. Aziz now out front in that Toyota, doing exactly what the judges have asked for the lead driver to do, filling all the zones, grabbing this touch and go as well without dropping a tire, clean to the inside clip. And I think David, just lurching forward here, I don't think it's going to work out for him in the the long run there. It throws him offline. He goes on the inside there of the course, dropping some tires. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up with the win. And Aziz, he's going to move forward to face Zach in the top 4.
Just like that, David with the super aggressive run to show he is here to stay and be a competitor. But unfortunately, Aziz Durashad moving on to the Summit Main sponsored Final 4. Congratulations to you, sir. And David, a fierce competition to you, sir, and we are looking forward to seeing you in round 2. All right, we have our next set of drivers staging up on grid currently. We have Dakota Elston and Devin Sievers coming to us live. Another RX-7 S-chassis battle with Dakota in the lead, Devin in the follow. Both of these gentlemen produced some fantastic results, and we're hoping to see more of them now. Coming into that first outer zone number 1, coming hot and heavy. Wow, oh my goodness, that's angle that I want to see. Hitting that first inner clip. Both of them are on each other's bumpers, a little shallower than we've been seeing, but still a lot of speed. But that FD falls off hardcore and wants to make that chase up. Dakota is not playing games. He is here to take all the marbles and your jacks. Devin shows these are still my marbles. I don't know. Was that a little bit too little too late, Craig?
It may have been. I mean, just a super clean lead run from Dakota out front here as we go to the replay. One of the best first outside zones I think we've seen. He doesn't drop a tire, comes super close to it. And then this nice transition here across that inside clip. He does cut the course just a little bit there, but is able to get out to that touch and go clean across that second inside clip and into that third outside zone. And just filling the next one almost to the end. And a nice transition to come up the hill on the last and final corner.
We have seen some of the competitors cutting that first inside clip successfully to be able to gain more speed for that touch and go, to then set them up great for those latter outside zones in the inner clip. So hopefully these guys are learning the course. I mean, right now we're starting to get down to the brass tacks of things, but let's flip-flop to the drip drop. We've got Devin Sievers in the lead and Dakota Elston in the follow. Let's get these boys on down the road. We gonna see some drift racing today in West Virginia. And smoke! Coming to you, we have the FDRX-7 out in the first outer zone with some really good angle, but Dakota is putting on the pressure to be able to make sure he can set himself up for inner clip number 1. The RX-7 is still showing he has the speed to be able to fill both zones. Touch and go done and completed with that inner clip number 2. Good proximity. The FD could be separate. And just like that, I say some ridiculousness. That 240 is showing he's there, and I don't think I should say words anymore, because as soon as that 240 from Dakota Elston was in there to like swimwear, he then lost it. Craig.
Yeah, that little bit of commentator's curse there as we go to the replay here. Another really good lead run from the FD this time. The chase, Dakota in the S14 doing everything he can to keep up with the RX-7 this time. As we saw last time, Dakota, just pulled away from him. There he goes lurching again, much like we saw from Zach. And there they go across the line with a big gap.
I will say that gap is not comforting for the judges. They really want to see 4 wheels sliding, smoking across those double cones in the end. So just because you have some fat daddy angle coming out of that third inner clip, guys, doesn't mean you're lock, stock, and ready to rock to move on and take that prize money. This is a drift competition, not a safety competition, so keep it. But whoa, Craig, we have a winner?
We certainly do. Devin will move ahead in that RX-7 to face the winner of our next battle, Jason and Tyler.
I am shocked. Again, you guys are seeing some fantastic battles right now from these individuals, and it just goes to show consistency and cleanliness while still being able to follow that driver or create your own line in the lead, but still be clean, is what moves you going forward. So now we have Jason Colon and Tyler Clokey in this last battle from the Shenandoah Circuit Great 8. We have Jason in the lead in what looks like, I believe, is a Nissan chassis, S15, and then we have Tyler in the pretty in pink Mustang S550 chassis. So without further ado, Yoshi, get these boys on down the line. Jason and Tyler out the gate like a stabbed rat. These guys are ready to rock and roll, and some big angle filling that outer zone number 1 from Jason, and Tyler is hot on his tail. Going to that inner zone or inner clip number 2. Jesus. I'm shocked right now because I'm seeing some fantastic drifting. 2nd outer zone, 3rd outer zone, and just like that, commentator's curse, Tyler shallowing up like a baby pool. This ain't a 6-inch drift. I saw some fantastic stuff in the initiation, Craig, but what fell off, man? I'm lost.
Yeah, it was really clean, and until you might have cursed him again. I don't know. We'll go back over this replay. Again, Jason out front in that red S15, looking super smooth here, filling that outside zone, grabbing the next inside clip, and here's where it goes wrong. We see Jason fill that zone and go to the next one, filling it as well, and it sort of chokes up the chase there. It wasn't ready for all that angle in the lead position, and Tyler falls off in that pink Mustang.
Well, in that initial battle versus with Jason versus Tyler was extremely aggressive. So I don't know, maybe he just got too spicy for the mustard, wrapped up in a jalapeno and sriracha, and thought he could take it. But realistically, that Mustang still has a little bit of a deficit to make up for straightening. So let's stop talking, start drifting, rock and roll. Yoshi, get him out the gate, brother. Just like that, we got a Mustang and a Sylvia. In and out the gate, we got Arizona number 1 being filled, and it is doing just that by both drivers. Fantastic driving by both Jason and Tyler. Tyler is really throwing down a really good run in that fantastic pretty and pink Mustang. Good speed, good touch and go proximity. Also hitting that inner clip number 2, going to outer zone number 2 and 3. Jason falling a lot behind, and Tyler throwing in the angle and speed with still good proximity, and then Jason hitting that final inner clip, and then whoa! Hold your horses there, Jason. Don't you be hitting on that Mustang there, boys. Craig, what's up?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the replay here, great outer zone to start with Tyler out front in that pink Mustang, grabbing this next touch and go as well. And here is where we start to see Jason fall off a little bit through this section here. Now Tyler on a little bit less angle than Jason had in his lead until there, leaving that outside zone and coming back up the hill, which opens the door a little bit for Jason in that chase. And then we saw that little bit of contact after the finish line.
Agreed. I will say, I mean, obviously right now in the Shenandoah Circuit Grade 8, I mean, these guys are definitely getting aggressive to try to want to be in that Summit Main Final 4. It seems like these guys are going a little bit harder each round. I don't know if maybe that practice paid off, but it seems like Craig, can we announce the winner?
It does. Jason moves ahead in that red S14, grabbing the win, and he'll go on to face Devin in the Final 4.
Congratulations to Jason Colon moving on to the Summit Main Course Final 4 for this event, and Tyler Clokey. Dude, you are in this to win it, and we all see what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and I am excited to shake your hand post-COVID, and then maybe you can buy me an adult beverage or a hot dog, whichever you prefer. So I'm excited for it. Moving on, let's look at our Summit Main Final 4, brought to you by Summit Main Course at Summit Point Motorsports Park. Summit Main features the iconic Hyperfest course, as well as the U.S. Drift course that has been used for multiple years, if not over the past decade, if I'm not mistaken. This course offers a super high-speed entry into a hard right-hander and then left-hand U-turn, and then into a full right-hand U-turn, into a full left-right-left sweeper, into a shutdown zone. This is where you guys want to drive, and it is exclusively available at Summit Point Motorsports Park in Charlestown, West Virginia. Coming to us now, we have Zach Catlin and Aziz Durashad. Now, I want to say, I was playing with these guys earlier in the sim on the practice outside of this, and they were having a blast. It was super fun. I got to see a lot of progression. I mean, Craig, you coming from VDC, practice makes perfect, no?
Absolutely. The guys get on for weeks on end practicing. Now, we typically give the tracks 2 weeks to the drivers in advance, so there isn't too much grinding out. But yeah, they're in there every single day and just practicing nonstop.
If you've got a sim rig, guys, Assetto Corsa is where it's at. We're getting ready to get into the winter. Downtime is not your friend. But downtime is not going to happen right now because we are in the Summit Main Final Four with Zach Catlin and Aziz Durashad. Yoshi, let's let these boys party. Coming to us, we have Zach Catlin in the lead, Aziz Durashad in the follow into outer zone number 1. We have some oh my goodness. I am looking at some fat angle from both women, some fantastic speed. Aziz is hard in the chase with Zach giving a really great lead run, but neither of these drifters are letting up. Cutting both inner clip points into outer zone number 2, outer zone number 3. We have some door-to-door, quarter-to-quarter action, ladies and gentlemen. Aziz shows he is here to stay, but Zach will throw the angle at you with no hesitation. Craig, thoughts, please? Thank you.
Yeah, he certainly did at the last and final turn there, going to the replay, entering in, both staying on the same line here, filling that first outside zone. Aziz doing a fantastic job in the chase position, staying with Zach out front in that blue Mustang. Here they come into that touch and go, getting to it, grabbing that next inside clip. Aziz on a little tighter line. Now Aziz gets really close to out of drift there before coming to the third outside zone, but gets back to it, and there you see Zach just throwing out all the angle before going up the hill and across that finish line.
Again, talking about it from practice, Aziz and Zach were doing this run for probably an hour straight with no interference, and I will say Zach was picking up a lot of speed to be able to do that lead, but Aziz, you may have Mr. Miyagi'd him, and the teacher or the student may have become the master at this point, so show us what you got in the lead, Aziz, and Zach, you better run him down. Let's see what y'all got right now. Coming out of the gate, we've got a clean start as always. Aziz throwing down holy guacamole! I don't know why I keep saying that, but I just love seeing fat angle out of the gate. High speed drift. The Mustang is not playing around to be able to make sure he stays in the active chase. Out of the touch and go into inner clip number 2. We have active drift from both drivers, cutting the inner clip into outer zone number 2, into outer zone number 3. Solid proximity, solid angle and mirroring. And this is a fantastic run coming out of inner clip number 3. 4 skids across a line for both drivers. Craig, what are we? I'm split, man, but I know where I'm leaning. Where are you leaning?
I think I'm gonna lean towards Aziz as we go back to the replay. Aziz filling that first outside zone perfectly, grabbing this next inside clip. Nice and smooth transition to go out and reach for that touch and go. He does just that. Now he does cut the line a little bit here, and the Mustang follows him right through. Nice transition through the middle of the course here. And here we'll see that Mustang wash out, understeer big time in that chase position, and then get back to it. So I think, it might go towards Aziz.
It almost looked like if I was in person, it was like an all-four lockup. To either he was like trying to not crash or maybe correct. What thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think he was going off course for sure. And the judges are going to give the win to Aziz, and he moves on to the finals.
Aziz Durashad topping Mr. Zach Catlin in the Summit Main Final Four, moving on to the finals. Congratulations, sir. And we are looking forward to seeing Zach at round 2.
Well, we'll actually see Zach again in the third place battle.
That's right. And see, Craig, that's why I love you. Coming from VDC, you have way more experience on this from me. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out VDC. They're running some fantastic streams. I believe Craig, you're in season 5?
Yeah, we just started season 5 last weekend.
Outstanding. I will say, being a virtual drift competition and having to do that for so long, and you guys are self-funded. Hats off to you, sir, for creating such a fantastic product that's lasted this long, and hopefully multiples of 5 years to come.
That would be nice. Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words. I mean, it's not just me. It's a big team effort making VDC happen each and every round and every season.
I think everything is a team effort, and I just want to take a little bit of time to shout out our team here. Again, we have myself, Chris DeBoard. We have Craig here announcing from VDC as well. We have Yoshi Jeffrey, who put together the Drift Nirvana app. If you're not familiar with it, go on to Google Play Store or Apple iStore to be able to download it for free. You can get the 2021 Drift Nirvana schedule, as well as what tracks will be available and what we will be able to do. We want to be able to also shout out Committed Service Brand for putting on this as well as a dual title sponsor for this series. And then we also want to shout out both of our judges again. Thank you so much for Dan Savage and Doug Lanciano for being able to give your tough, firm hammer judging to be able to make sure these guys know that they are getting not only quality, but the best of the best. Let's go to our final battle of the Summit Main Final Four. We have Devin Sievers and Jason Colon. Now, Devin was getting a little bit too spicy on a hot Arizona day earlier. Let's see if he can lay down some track time that we want to watch. But Jason is no slouch either in that Nissan S15. So you know what, Yoshi? Let's get these boys on down the road and we gonna watch some drift racing. Bing, bling, ding, 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 in West Virginia. Dun, 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 dun. And just like that, let's put some smoke on the tires. Out the gate, looking fantastic. Devin Sievers leading Jason Colon in that with the massive amount of angle. Devin is not making this easy for Jason. Jason is still putting on the pressure in that Nissan S15, and we have some serious angle going in the touch and go. Inner clip number 2, good, decent proximity I'd say, but still solid amount of angle and speed. Very good outside zone fulfillment from both drivers. We could see a little bit closer coming to this. That FDRX7 looked like the Mona Lisa with tire nibs all over it. I'm at that last inner clip, I'm sorry, is fantastic. Craig, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it certainly was. As we go back to the replay, we do see Devin enter a little bit early, which leads him to not filling that first outside zone quite enough. There we see coming into this first touch and go, he gets out there, and Jason is doing everything he can in that chase position to catch back up to that fast RX-7 through this course, filling both those outside zones very well. And here they come up the hill for this last and final turn and across that finish line.
I really think the FDRX7, while he really enjoys his angle, there should be some speed behind it, because there was, I counted at least 2 opportunities where he gave that Nissan a chance to catch up and close the gap. So let's hope that does bite him in the buttocks, because we are flip-flop to the drip drop with Jason leading Devin in the Nissan S15 versus the FDRX7. Let's get these boys rocking through the cones without a DUI checkpoint. I want to see some smoke, and we gonna go rolling. Going out the gate with no issues whatsoever. Going to outer zone number 1. We've got some hefty angle from both drivers at a solid speed. Good outside zone fulfillment from both drivers. Going to that inner clip number 1. We have some solid proximity. Good clipping, as well as going to that touch and go. But the Jason shallowing a little bit for that touch and go, but still leading Devin, and Devin shallows outside zone 3, and then Devin still shallowing on angle, but kissing the bumper slightly, but with consent. And I just saw a little too much aggress at the end of that run. Can we get a recap, Mr. Craig?
Absolutely. Going back to it here, a nice smooth initiation from Jason out front in that S15, looking really nice across the inside clip as well. And there you see Devin trying to jump onto the door. He does just that coming into that touch and go. Here they come into these set of outside zones. And Jason doing a fantastic job filling them both. But here we go up the hill, and a little bit of contact in the chase position right there, throwing him off the course just a little bit as they cross that finish line.
It definitely, again, the first part of that run did not mirror the end of that run. So hopefully the judges can take the lead follow from before, and again, lead, chase. But there was some shallowing on both drivers' parts and missing of clips and not taking advantage of some of these lines. But the angle was there, the speed was there. These guys are here to win, so that's what matters.
Yeah, and Devin certainly went after it, and he does. He gets the win and moves on to the finals to face Aziz.
Congratulations to Devin Sievers for moving on to the Drift Nirvana Round 1 Finals presented by Drift Nirvana and Committed Service Brand. Jason Colon, you, sir, will be a threat to deal with, and I very much look forward to seeing your performances in the rounds following today. So we have, obviously, Aziz Durashad, Devin Sievers, final round, waiting to get to the grid. Now, Aziz actually drifts a Turbo M50 older E-Series, which is kind of cool. Now, all these drivers have a real-life drift car, which I think is really cool. Now, Craig, with VDC, are you seeing a lot of guys, moving to VDC in the off-season to be able to help keep that seat time up?
Absolutely, yeah. We have a ton of drivers, whether they're pro in the Pro-Am series in their countries or whatever series that they're doing. I'd say probably 70 to 80% maybe drives somewhat real life.
That's fantastic.
Some sort of real life drifting.
Well, I mean, just 70 to 80% when you're talking, a base pool of, let's say, 30 people. I mean, these are guys that actually want to be able to keep their skills hot, and just like any kind of sport, muscle memory. It's very, very, very important. So I apologize. We're going to be doing the bracket of Zach Catlin and Jason Colon first to be able to do third, because we don't want to spoil the sausage before it's made, as they say. So let's take care of this fantastic bracket we got going here. So we have Jason Colon and we have Zach Catlin. I apologize, guys. Give me 1 millisecond to be able to make sure I'm on the I'm messing up right now. If you don't mind, Craig, can you take this one?
Yeah, I certainly can.
Call this third place grudge match between the Nissan S15 and this beautiful blue and red Mustang. And out the gate, the Mustang is ready to roll. The Nissan is ready to roll. We have the Mustang with huge angle, but the Nissan is not letting up. Huge zone fulfillment from both drivers. Great mirroring into inner clip number 1. Ready for that touch and go to be able to go fast, furious, and off track of it. What's going on right now? We're going to the outer zone number 2, outer zone number 3. Solid door-to-door action, but that Mustang is laying on the angle and speed. The Nissan shows he will not let it go. 4 tires sideways across the line with a little bit of boopsie-boo after the finish. Craig, where are we at with this one, big boy?
Yeah, he certainly does. Going back to the replay here, nice initiation. He does drop a little bit of a tire there in that lead position before getting into that first outside zone, but holds it together nice and smooth through the S section of the course, getting to the touch and go as well, grabbing that inner clip, and there you see the S15 drop back onto the door through these 2 outside zones. Now the Mustang grabs a little bit of a gap here, and then a super snappy transition to go back up the hill and across that finish line.
I will say Jason was not letting it quit all the way till the end. So, I mean, hopefully the heart pays off. But, I mean, again, small mistakes here and there lead to you going home with an empty pocket. So let's hope both these drivers continue to give us the best of the best. Zach Catlin, Jason Colon, ready to go. We've got Jason in the chase, Zach in the follow. We've got 2 drivers. One of them will be taking home the round 1 third place trophy, and out the gate they are ready to give us their best. Going to outer zone number 1, both these drivers, huge angle again from both drivers, huge outside zone 1 fulfillment. Going to inner clip number 1, both of them door to door with some solid back-to-back finishing into the touch and go. Still great proximity. That Mustang is not letting him off easy. Cutting inner clip number 2. Boom, 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 2 and 3 outer zones. These guys are not gonna let this be an easy judgment. I will tell you right now, that is some of the best drifting we've seen today. Craig, where's your analysis?
Yeah, I really love these third place battles, and this is why we got really close here. filling this first outside zone, and you see the Mustang staying right there with him, Zach, and diving in up onto the door here as they come into that touch and go, as well as these set of outside zones too. Zach doing everything he can in that Mustang. Look at there, jumping right onto the door, showing his aggression. But again, I mean, you can't take much away from that lead as well with it being so smooth.
Jason definitely laid down a fantastic lead in that second run. I will say Zach has been an aggressor the entire competition we've seen today in that Mustang. So hopefully the judges take that into consideration, because yes, we saw some great battling all day long, but it really only comes down to who is the next who is the Highlander in this bronze match that we've got going on. Zach Catlin, Jason Cologne. We are waiting a judge's decision. And again, this competition is brought to you by Drift Nirvana and Committed Service Brand. Committed Service Brand, your one-stop shop for all of your Formula Drift fabrications to both drift, off-road, and on-road chassis fabrications. Proudly sponsoring multiple Formula Drift drivers and multiple Formula Drift Pro-Am drivers. Drift Nirvana, your one-stop shop again for all things drifting here in West Virginia, featuring 4 courses, including the Washington Circuit, the Jefferson Circuit that we are currently doing right now, the Shenandoah Circuit, and Summit, Maine. There is also a skid pad on Shenandoah. We have food, fuel, fun. The 3 F's, and all of them are family friendly. Craig, I like to think, you know, drifting is a universal thing. No matter of where you're from, you can kind of show up at a track and then everybody's friendly. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong, sir, whatsoever. You know, traveling around with FD the past 2 seasons, everybody that I came in contact with is super nice, super helpful if you need it as well. It's one big family.
Greg, you said you were traveling with FD. Who were you traveling with?
So last year was with Austin Meeks, and the year before that was with Van Kirk.
Oh, fantastic! I'll be honest, without saying too much, if you had to choose one Formula Drift driver, you can't pick one of those 2. Who would you follow if you had the choice?
James and Peter. All day, no question.
I can't say
probably
that's not
Peter
a
more. We got the chance to know him on a personal level through last year and hung out with him a lot, and them and their whole entire team are just fantastic people.
No, I've heard James is as genuine as he seems during the interviews, and then all of his on-camera stuff. And then Peter is just a really humble, soft-spoken guy as well. So it's I mean, is that the same impression you got meeting those guys?
Oh, 100%.
Awesome. No, I mean, it's really cool to be able to see these guys who put down, driving these 1,000 horsepower plus machines, and then they're able to be genuine people on and off camera. I think that's, with most sports these days, that's not the same thing that we're getting from those individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's really nice that a lot of more factory sponsorships that are happening to be able to make this work, and people are, more or less, because we had Ford for a while, Chevy dropped into it, Dodge dropped into it, but still, it's nice to be able to see a lot more involvement in the community. NBC Sports live streamed the Battle of the Bay for US Drift, which was even more amazing to be able to show more popularity for the sport.
Definitely.
Do we have a decision? I don't
we
know
certainly do. We got it. Zach is gonna take home 3rd place.
Zach, congratulations, taking the 3rd place trophy around in that baby boy blue Mustang. You, sir, certainly earned it, but that's not to say that Jason didn't put up a fantastic battle. We, again, look forward to seeing both of those individuals here at our round 2 competition. And without further ado, I believe, Craig, is it time for the finals?
It certainly is. They're both at the line waiting to be sent off.
So at that point, we have Aziz Durashad, Devin Sievers going for the first ever final round of Formula Drift Round 1 competition on Assetto Corsa. Yoshi, I'm done talking because I want to see some drifting. Aziz out front in that IS-200 with the FD hot in pursuit. Aziz throwing down some hot angle like he always has, and that FD is still hot on his tail. Interclip number 1, both of them shallowing up. Aziz straightening, it almost seems like, and then throwing a lot of shallow angle, but the FD is not letting up either. I'm a little sad because I really saw some great stuff, but Aziz still giving a solid performance. That RX-7 is not letting up either. I'm almost a little sad, Craig. I really think Aziz didn't give it his all here. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, going back to the replay here, the lead wasn't all too bad. Now, he did lack on angle a little bit here and there through the course. He doesn't quite fill that first outside zone, but that RX-7 doing a fantastic job following that same line. Now, you called it out there through that first inside clip and into the next turn, going into the touch and go. He really lacks some angle. Again here, you can see the lack of tire smoke as well on the game, as it's based on heat and wheel speed. But again, the RX-7, Devin doing a fantastic job in that chase position, staying with him throughout that course, even though he was a little bit low on angle.
Now is not the time for pressure to be getting to these drivers. You guys have made it this far, so make sure to stay focused and ready to rock and roll. We have flip-flop till the drip drop. We've got Aziz in the chase and Devin in the lead. I want to see if we can see a winner after this battle. Devin lead, Aziz follow, drifting happening. Final round, hope maybe final run, we don't know, but I'm seeing some tire smoke and some boys out the gate. Into the first outer zone, we've got the RX-7 laying down some solid angle, but Aziz is showing he wants to make up for all the mistakes he made. He filled in that zone, both of them on point, shallow angle, but high speed. I'm seeing tire smoke, touch and go, saw some touching. Inside clip number 2 to outside zone number 2 and 3. These gentlemen are on each other with good proximity and good mirroring. RX-7 is showing some fantastic angle into that final inner clip. Fantastic door action, both of them. Good tire smoke and some good skid racing. I'm tied, Craig. Where are we standing, brother?
Going to the replay here, we see Devin make a very, very clean lead run out front in that FD RX-7. Now Aziz doing a super good job staying with him there through that section of the course. They drop down for that inner clip. Aziz a little bit on the outside, trying to stay with that FD. Falls back a little bit, gains it back here as they come back up the hill. But again, just a super clean lead for Aziz to chase down through this course.
So I almost think, though, I mean, is this going to be enough to maybe shift the safe line that Aziz was running in that lead run?
It could be. I mean, just super clean, and Devin was able to stay with Aziz, even though Aziz was on that little bit of a lower angle style run throughout the course, while Devin, really put it out there in the lead. Now, Aziz did follow him a little bit better, but again, that lead can lead to a better chase run, so it'll be interesting to see which way the judges actually end up going here, or maybe even a one more time.
I think that's true, but I don't want to spoil it, because Craig, you've been calling it all day, baby, so I want to give you the ability to announce, do we have a winner?
We certainly do, and Devin Sievers is gonna get the win with that super clean lead run.
Congratulations again to Devin Sievers for taking first place in the Drift Nirvana Assetto Corsa Round 1 Championship Series. Again, second place will be going to Aziz Durashad, laying it down in that wacky, blacky, wonderful red Altiza. And then again, third place in that hot bronze match between Jason and Zach. Zach Catlin taking third place. For my first live stream experience, Craig, I think I saw some incredible drifting at a track that I've actually been at. I want to hear, this is really amazing. Do you think we can expect the rest of this intensity and showmanship throughout the series?
Yeah, I think it might even, increase a little bit as the season goes on.
Don't you dare go tempt me with a good time. Well,
yeah, it can only get better from here.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream presented to you by Drift Nirvana and Committed Service Brand. This has been the Drift Nirvana Round 1 Championship on Assetto Corsa. For those of you that aren't already doing it, please download the Drift Nirvana app on both Google Play and the Apple iPhone store as well. To be able to do that, it is free, and you can catch up on all the wonderful drifting action here at Summit Motorsports Park. I have been Chris DeBoard, and you are?
Craig?
Craig from VDC, thank you guys so much. I want to also give a secondary shout out to Yoshi Jeffrey for putting this all together, for allowing us to have this wonderful, amazing space to be able to operate and put on some fantastic live streaming for you, the viewers. And then again, we couldn't be finding out who wins, who loses without our wonderful two judges. 2014 Formula Drift Pro 2 champion Dan Savage and 2021 Formula Drift Pro 2 license holder Douglas Lanciano. We're all looking forward to seeing you all in the next round, and at that point, we out!